guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the Finally Fall book tag. I have seen this tag going around a few times on BookTube, probably in the last month or so. I know Elliot Brooks did one, a bunch of other people did one as well, and it's just like a fun, short little fall book tag where you answer questions about books, and it's fall themed, and that's my favorite season, so it's kind of perfect. So jumping right into it, the very first question is, in fall, the air is crisp and clear, name a book with a vivid setting. I wasn't really sure where to go with this one, so I actually ended up choosing The Other Merlin by Robin Schneider. I just talked about this in my recent wrap-up video, and I really enjoyed it. It's a gender-bent King Arthur retelling in which Merlin is actually Emery Merlin, and she has a twin brother named Emmett Merlin, but she is actually the more talented sibling, and she ends up taking his place in court as a wizard in training to become King Arthur's wizard, and yeah, shenanigans ensue from there. It was hilarious, but the setting was so fascinating. It was kind of a historical Britain, but very fantastical at the same time, and I just really enjoyed it. So if you haven't checked it out, I think you should. Question number 2 is, nature is beautiful but also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but also deals with a heavy topic like loss or grief. For this, I picked Fireborn by Rosaria Munda because this book, the storyline is just so good, and it's YA, but it doesn't feel like YA. It's super political, but the characters are amazing and their relationships are amazing, but they have dealt with some terrible, tragic stuff in their lives, and it's very heavy. Both of them have lost their families. Both of the leads have lost their families in very tragic ways. It's just great. This book has been talked about on BookTube a lot in recent months, mostly over the last year, so if you haven't heard about it, go check it out because there's dragons, and I think it's based on the Russian Revolution, I'm pretty sure. Number 3 is fall is back to school season. Name a nonfiction book that taught you something that you know. Your girl doesn't really read very much nonfiction, or like any, so in recent memory, I literally cannot think of a single nonfiction book that I have read. So we're just gonna skip this one. Moving on. Question number 4 is, in order to keep warm, it's good to spend some time with the people we love. Name a fictional friend, family, or household group that you would like to be a part of. For this, I said pretty much any Kevin Hearn book, mostly specifically in the Iron Druid world, just because the bond between Atticus and Oberon, it's just, that is a friendship that I would like to be a part of, because those two are just goals. And then Starbuck comes in eventually as well, and that is just entertaining as all hell. And yes, Atticus makes some terrible choices, but he always has Oberon there with him. Or even in the Ink and Sigil series, where you've got Almig Varish and Buck Foy. They're probably not the greatest examples, but Almig Varish and I believe her name is Nadia. I can't remember his co-worker off the top of my head right now, but they're delightful, and I love them, and I would want to be friends with both of them. Question number 5 is, the colorful leaves are piling up on the ground. Show us a pile of fall-themed book spines, or something along those lines. The hardest part of this, honestly, is going to be putting all of these back where they belong, but ta-da! So I literally just pulled a random group of books, but they are pretty, all of them. I love all of these covers, so yeah, that's my fall-themed book spines. Question number 6 is, fall is the perfect time for some storytelling by the fireside. Share a book wherein somebody is telling a story. So there's a couple of these that I picked out, and the first one is the entirety of the Scholomance series thus far. Within that, it really feels like Elle is telling the story to you, especially because she takes a couple of breaks, like even mid-action, and I know that this annoys certain people, but like she takes breaks in the middle of telling the story to explain like exposition-y stuff to you, and it annoys a lot of people, but it doesn't bother me because I'm learning more about the world that I'm already like really into, so I think it's pretty cool, but it really feels like she's telling the story as it's happening to you. And then the second one that I picked that I read recently was Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Nouvelle, because it's like an investigator is telling you the story, because they've compiled all of this evidence in the form of transcripts and things like that, like interviews and stuff, in order to tell the story of what happened to these people during this experiment to you, and I think that that's super cool. Question number 7 is, the nights are getting darker. Share a creepy read. This was hard for me. I don't read a lot of creepy books, I would say The Haunting of Hill House by, I think, Shirley Jackson. I need to read that this month, because if I don't, I'm pretty sure John will like force me to by reading it to me himself, because I've been supposed to read it for like a year now, something like that. But on top of that, I would say The Night Swim by Megan Golden, because that is a thriller that I read last year and I really greatly enjoyed. Or the Sacramento series by Karen Rose, which revolves around a cult. And it was just, the whole trilogy was really, really interesting. And if you are new to this channel, hi, hello, I'm a big Karen Rose fan. If you like romantic suspense, go check her out. But if you're not new, then you've heard me talk about this before, and it's old news and you're probably tired of it, and I'm sorry. Question number 8 is The Days Are Getting Colder. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm up somebody's cold and rainy day. For this, I picked The Other Merlin just because it's on my brain because I read it so recently, and I also picked any well-met book. All 3 of the trilogy are just great. I really enjoyed all of them. The first and the third probably more than the second. But also, spoiler alert by Olivia Dade, just because that just gave me all of the feels, and it was so cute and it was so heartwarming, and I can't wait to move on to the second book in the series, which I think comes out at the end of this month. Question number 9 is Fall returns every year. Name an old favorite that you'd like to return to soon. For this, I picked authors instead of specific books, just because I have certain specific books by these authors, but realistically I would just like to reread the whole series by them, and that would be any of the Tamara Pierce books, but right now specifically, hi Amber. But right now specifically I am feeling the Bloodhound series, because I just really enjoy all 3 of those books, and they're right here. They're really, really good. Also anything by Cinda Williams Chima, because those are right here, also very, very good, but specifically the Seven Realms books, because they're the first ones that I truly fell in love with her world building and her character work and all of that stuff. So I love them a lot, and I do still need to finish the Shattered Realms series. So I don't know if I'm gonna reread Seven Realms before I move on to the last 2 or not, but that is in the plans for the future at some point. Also any of the Iron Druid books, just because the latter few I think I've only read once. And I would really, really like to remedy that, because the first like 5 or 6 books in the series I read cover to cover many, many, many times. So those are all of the favorite authors that I would like to give a reread to at some point. We shall see if I actually get around to it. Question number 10 is Fall is the perfect time for cozy reading nights. Share your favorite cozy reading accessories. This is extremely easy for me, because fall is my favorite season. I love to lay on the couch with a very, very cozy blanket and a hot beverage, and usually some kind of ambiance, fire crackling room in the background, and just read my book, because I love all of that. The ambiance room really, really adds to the whole thing. I wish that I had a real crackling fire, because I grew up with a fireplace. We do not have one in this house, unfortunately, so TV, ambience rooms, it is. So yeah, those are my favorite fall accessories. Sweatpants, warm fuzzy socks, just anything that, like, especially if it's cold outside, that entire situation is just top tier for me. Love it. And question number 10 is spread the autumn appreciation and tag some people. So I'm going to tag Z from You Can't Catch Z, and I think that she's probably already been tagged, but I'm going to tag her anyway. So Jessie from The Bookish Mom, and I'm also going to tag Lauren from Lighting Lavender, and I think that is it. So that is the end of this book tag. As per usual, all the books that I talked about you can find down in my description below. You're also going to find affiliate links, as well as links to my Goodreads, my Twitter, and my Instagram, in case any of you guys wanted to follow me on those as well. And like it if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!